search for Taylor Brand.
From Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, this is Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. TicketBash.com, where memories are made affordable and where you'll never pay a service fee. Sports Bash is also presented by the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund, the group of like-minded individuals trying to raise awareness to our future generations of all possibilities of success other than just college. For more information, visit www.lookWhoMadeIt.org. Sports Bash is brought to you by the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Every customer is considered family. At the Embassy Diner, mention Sports Bash and get that free, delicious dessert with your meal. By Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles in Rockville Center, Long Island's go-to store for sports, entertainment, and political memorabilia since 1996. They're also available for charity auctions. Mention Sports Bash when you come in and get a free autograph photo. Give Warren a call at 516-826-4000 and stay tuned later in the show and find out about the Living Legends item of the week. And by the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media. For more information, go to martylyonsfoundation.org. Well, hi again, everybody. Happy Thursday. I'm Peter Schwartz. Welcome to the show. 516-465-3990 is the number to call. And the public service announcement, as we do at the beginning of every single show, make sure you're subscribing to Govs Comedy Club podcast and Sports Bash Media on YouTube and following on Facebook and Instagram. So all the usual suspects of social media, make sure you're following along for Govs Comedy Club as well as Sports Bash Media. Coming up later in the show, another one of those Peter pushes the envelope kind of segments where I interview one of my bosses. And he is the founder and the owner of the Entertainment Football Association. Doug Freeman is going to join us on the show, of course, tomorrow. Our big shindig to unveil the name and the logo of the brand new arena football team on Long Island that will be in the Entertainment Football Association, of which I am the general manager. Don't ask me how that happened.
How'd that happen?
I told you not to ask me. I'm still trying to figure it out, but they've entrusted me with the keys to the newest sports franchise here on Long Island, and we will find out. Well, I know what it is, but everybody will find out what the name of the team and what the logo will look like. Wiz, would you like me to tell you what the name of the team is?
What will it not be?
Well, I'm not going to tell you at all, so it just, you have to come by tomorrow in Hicksville at the Nassau PAL headquarters at 1:30, and the public is invited. Like, you can come by, 2 o'clock is 1:30 arrival, 2 o'clock you can be there, and there's the invitation up on the screen.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Well, I mean, you could miss it if you have something better to do.
I don't.
Okay, well, that's your problem. But we'll talk to Doug, and here's the funny part, and I'll bring this up to him in the interview. So today, as we tape the show, well, not tape, we're live at 1 o'clock, but as we're doing the show here, at 2 o'clock are the first ever GM meetings for the Entertainment Football Association, taking place at an undisclosed location. Well, I know where it is, but I'm not telling. Yeah, top secret. Not in Levittown, so don't come over here. It's not here. But I'm actually going to be late to the general managers meetings, and I'm the GM of the Long Island team. Everybody is gathered. All the league officials are gathered here on Long Island for the GM meetings the night before we unveil the name of the team tomorrow. And the Long Island GM is late because he's doing his little podcast, TV show, whatever you want to call it. But it's an excused absence, but we'll reassure that with Doug when he joins us over the phone at 1:20 or somewhere around then. Later on in the program, we're also going to have Stump the Wiz, and we're also going to have This Week in Sports History. And what else are we going to have? Oh, the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. I think we have a good one today. Well, I think we have a good Stump the Wiz question. We'll see. You fell backwards again last week because you got stumped. You got off the schneid the week before, but now you have to try and recover this week. And this is an interesting question today, and it has to do, the Stump the Wiz question I'm talking about, has to do with my wife Cheryl's favorite baseball player ever. Keep that in mind. Do you know who it is?
I know it's a Met.
Well, just okay, but if your mind, I'm giving you a little bit of a head start if your mind wants to start thinking in that direction. Yeah, you don't need to expound on it. I'm just telling you that it's about my wife's favorite baseball player, okay. And I'm leaving it at that. Just like I'm not going to say what the name of the football team is, I'm not going to tell you the name until we get to it later on. Capiche?
It would be kind of funny if her favorite baseball player was like someone that was on like the Seattle Mariners back in the 80s.
No. But that'll be a good question. We have two. We have a good Stump the Wiz question. We have a good Sports Bash Media poll question later on. And we'll talk football with Doug Freeman from the Entertainment Football Association coming up at 1:20. But this is a huge day in sports, locally and all across North America. I'll start locally because this just happened while I was in a important high-stakes meeting involving the football team a little while ago. I check my phone and I find out, and this has been rumored for a while. Like, this is not a surprise that it happened, but it was made official today. Aaron Boone has signed a new 2-year extension to continue being the manager of the Yankees beyond this season. And I joked with Tony and Wiz off the air right before we went on about, good news? Yeah, well, whatever. And yeah, I'm kind of both ways on Aaron Boone as a Yankee fan. I mean, there is no denying the success that the Yankees have had. Now, they have not won it all. They have not won the World Series, got close last year, lost to the Dodgers in the World Series. But there's no denying the sustained success that the Yankees have had during Aaron Boone's tenure as Yankee manager. There have been trips to the ALCS. There have been many postseason visits. There was a trip to the World Series. There was one non-playoff season, or maybe two, since he became the manager. I can't remember, at least one. But for the most part, the Yankees have won a lot of baseball games with Aaron Boone as the manager. Now, you can say, well, he's a good manager because they won a lot of games. I could also tell you that he's a good manager because the Yankees, for the most part, have had really good players over his tenure. I could also bring up the argument that Aaron Boone follows the analytics-driven front office of the New York Yankees. Now, I grew up with George Steinbrenner being the owner, and the Yankees getting every player that they wanted, and coming up with good homegrown players, and the Yankees did things the old-fashioned way. They scouted, they signed the best free agents, they made good trades for the most part, and analytics was never really a part of the equation. But in this case, it is. So I've always wondered, like, how good of a manager Aaron Boone, how good of a manager is he really? Is he as good of a manager as the Yankees' record has been over the last, 7 years? How long? I wasn't talking to you. It was called a rhetorical question. Did you learn that at Hofstra?
Yeah, I was trying to think for you.
Oh, well, I don't need thinking. It's my monologue, Yeah. It's like when you get your own show, you could do your own monologue, okay? There you go. You talk to Tony, you find some studio time, you can come back in and do your own show. You're working with me for a long time now. You know when to talk and when not to talk. My God. Where was I? Oh, Aaron Boone. So, look, at the end of the day, I really don't know how good of a manager Aaron Boone is. We know he's won a lot of games, but I think this was a good move for the Yankees for one reason and one reason only, for consistency. If you look over the Yankees' winning ways in the last 30 years, going back to 1996, and Joe Torre's his run as Yankee manager that included 4 world championships. You look at Joe Girardi's run with a lot of success and a lot of playoff appearances, and he won a World Series title. And now Aaron Boone has been a model of consistency. Again, haven't won the World Series, something that Joe Girardi did once and Joe Torre did 4 times. But you got to be in it to win it. You got to be in the postseason. You got to have some sustained success. It's not easy to win a World Series. So Aaron Boone's won a lot of games, and I think this is a well-deserved, with all joking aside, a well-deserved 2-year extension as he, at the very least this year, tries to get the Yankees back to the World Series. And, unless you've been under a rock, you know that even though the Yankees lost Juan Soto to the Mets, they did make a number of moves during the offseason. And it on paper at least, and baseball games are not won on paper, they are won on the field. But on paper, the Yankees still figure to be the best team in the American League. And I don't even think it's close. I don't. And it's easy for, Peter, a big, Yankee fan, pumping his chest about the Yankees. Who's better? Who is better than the Yankees in the American League? Again, it's a rhetorical question, Wiz. I did not ask you to answer the question. You can answer it during your segment later in the show. Tony, however, he has carte blanche to turn the microphone on anytime he wants to. But I know he doesn't like talking about the Yankees. He'll talk about the Mets later in the show. We'll bring that up later. To me, the Yankees, odds are, I'm not a gambling person, but if I was at a sports book or if I was in Las Vegas, whatever it is, I would put money down on the Yankees to win the American League this year. Now, again, the World Series might be a different story when it comes to the Dodgers or the Mets or the Phillies or whoever might get to the National League, become the National League champions and go to the World Series. The Braves should be in the discussion there as well. But I think it's a good day for the Yankees. I mean, you want to have that consistency. The players like playing for Aaron Boone. They win a lot with him. He got them to a World Series last year, and this at least, it takes away the doubt. Because you don't want a manager, same thing with football too, or any sport. You don't want a manager or a coach working on the final year of a contract. It's that lame duck thing. So, generally speaking, even if owners want to get rid of a manager or a coach, I love when my phone rings during the show because people just don't know that I'm on the air. Come on, if you know me, you know I'm doing the show. Come on, Tim. Wiz, you want to answer this for me? No, it's okay. I'll call him back. It's relative to football tomorrow, but it's okay. And I get off on a tangent, and I forget what I'm talking about. It was a good day for the Yankees today. I think it's a good thing to have that stability. The players love Aaron Boone, so I have no problem with that going forward. Now to the bigger story today, and it's more encompassing than just local. It is national. It is around the North American continent, and it's probably going to be big news all over the world, especially if you're a hockey fan tonight. And that is the rematch between the United States and Canada in the Four Nations Face-Off Championship game tonight in Boston. And ticket prices, Wiz, this is where I'll bring you in. Go to ticketbash.com on your phone, and I want you, in a couple of seconds when I'm ready for it, I want you to tell me what the get-in-the-door price is for the championship game tonight in Boston. And there is so much excitement around this game. And it's kind of funny for me as a hockey fan, and hockey is actually my favorite sport to watch as a fan. It's very close between hockey and football. I mean, obviously I make a living in football now, and I have a son playing college football. My younger son loves football. My wife loves football. But hockey, since I'm a kid, has always been my favorite sport to watch as a fan. So it's always intriguing to me when the non-hockey fan gets excited about a hockey game. And again, I revert to my mother, who's not really a sports fan. She mildly follows it because of me and the boys and Cheryl and everything like that. But when when a game excites my mother, you know it's a big deal when something excites my mother sports-wise. And anybody else. Like if you're a casual sports fan, you don't really watch the NHL. And, you know, the NHL players go to the Olympics. People will watch that. But there is a lot of attention on this game tonight. And a lot of it obviously has to do with what happened in Montreal on Saturday night with all the fisticuffs and the 3 fights in the first 9 seconds of the game. Tonight, again, I don't know how it's going to play out. I would be shocked if we had that same kind of fisticuffs. Now, it'll be a physical game, and we may have a fight or two maybe during the game, which is strange for an international contest. But I think this is going to be a great hockey game tonight. I think this is one of those games where casual hockey fan, ardent hockey fan, whatever you are, this is a game you want to watch tonight. Because you got the United States trying to prove that they are the premier hockey power right now. You've got Canada. Hockey is Canada's game. And if you're a hockey fan, you remember the 1996 World Cup of Hockey where the United States shocked Canada in the final. And it's been a long time since the United States has beaten Canada in a game of this importance. Now, Saturday night was important because it got the United States to the championship game, and it was done on Canadian soil, or ice, if you will. But tonight, obviously, is a different story. Tonight, You've got a USA team that's got a banged-up Matthew Tkachuk that probably is back in the lineup. Charlie McAvoy of the Bruins is injured. So there's some question marks. Quinn Hughes was added to the team, but he's not allowed to play unless there's another injury. And you've got Canada, who rebounded from the loss to the United States with a win over Finland in their third round-robin game the other day. And they're looking to get revenge. And they want to now come on United States soil and ice and try and get back at the United States. I think the United States will win this game tonight. It's one of those things where I'm not sure, but I am so pumped up as a hockey fan for this game. And again, I want to revert back to this meeting I have to go to afterward, the GM meetings. So we've got these GM meetings that are going to go from 2 to like 5, 3 hours of meetings.
Wow.
First ever GM meeting for me, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I'll be a little late, and hopefully I'll still get to catch up on whatever the agenda is. And then we're going out to dinner afterward. All the GMs, people from the league, at an undisclosed location on Long Island.
Wow.
I'll tell you off the air. Because Anthony hears food, Tony hears food, and he's like, wow. I'll tell you off. It's a well-known Long Island establishment that we're going to.
Embassy Diner.
No, not the Embassy Diner. But again, the Embassy Diner, not only are they a big sponsor of Sports Bash, but they became the first corporate partner of the yet-to-be-named New York Long Island Arena football team. So thanks to Gus and everybody. And if you come to one of our games, you'll see the Embassy Diner on the dasher boards. You'll see them on the scoreboard. You'll see them in the program. They'll be all over the place. And Gus and all those guys over there do a great job. But we're going out to dinner at 5:30. And you know how when you get enough executives in a room with food, it could last a pretty long time, right? So I have a plan in place to get out of that early because I need to be home at 8 o'clock to watch the game. So here's the plan. I hope nobody from the league. Well, Doug's not on the line yet, right? Okay,
no.
Okay, good. So here's the plan. I am not watching this game out with a bunch of people. I want to be home watching this game. I've got some work to do for this press conference tomorrow. I want to watch the game with my family at home. So I needed a way to get out of this meeting, like at 6:30ish, 7 o'clock, right? Make sure I get home in time. My wife Cheryl and my younger son Jared are in the city today, going to a Broadway show. So they weren't going to stay in the city now, but they are actually my wife is the best wife in the world, and my younger son is one of my two favorite sons that I have. And they have devised a plan to help Dad out because they're now changed their plans and they're going to go for dinner in the city. Therefore, not coming back early enough that I would not be able to pick them up at the train. So now they are going to stay in the city and have something to eat, and then they're going to say, oh, let's call Dad to pick us up at the train station, the Uber, and we'll come up with something. I got to go pick up my family. See you all tomorrow at the press conference, right? Is that a good thing for a new GM to do, to try and get out of the meeting?
Just don't tell them that.
Yeah, well, they're not watching. They're getting ready for this GM meeting in 41 minutes. They're not watching the show. We won't bring this up with Doug when he joins us in a couple of minutes, right?
Hope he didn't hear us.
No, I don't think so. There's all kinds of things going on now. So, all right, and that brings us to the next topic at hand. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk football. My boss, the founder and the owner of the brand new Entertainment Football Association, Long Island team involved in the league. I'm the GM, and we are going to talk about the logo reveal and the name reveal coming up tomorrow when we come back right after this. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz.
And I'm Vinny Tickets.
We want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Hi.
Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles is the best place to find autographed entertainment and sports memorabilia. We guarantee the authenticity of each and every item in our shop to provide you with quality collectibles anytime you browse our inventory. Our memorabilia includes autographed photos, sports equipment, jerseys, hats, and other paraphernalia from current athletes and legendary sports stars. If you prefer the entertainment industry, we have signed posters, albums, and photographs from classic movie stars and today's celebrities. To give back to our community, we participate in fundraising auctions for local charities. Call us today to request a specific autograph, find a special gift for someone else, or schedule an event. Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles. Living Legends Memorabilia and Collectibles is the best place to find.
In 1982, the Marty Lyons Foundation began with a single heartfelt mission: to bring moments of joy and hope to critically ill children by granting wishes that make their dreams come true. Since that day, we have touched the lives of over 8,500 families, raising over $43 million to grant wishes that offer a beacon of light in their darkest times. These precious wishes cost an average of $6,700 each, and your support is crucial to our mission. Every donation, big or small, makes a difference. And with 76 cents of every dollar going directly to supporting our families, you can rest assured your support truly changes lives. The Marty Lyons Foundation operates 11 chapters in 14 states now, working tirelessly to reach as many children as we can. This dedication goes hand in hand with our commitment to transparency and accountability, earning us top ratings on Charity Navigator, Great Nonprofits, and Candid, which underscores our dedication to those we serve. The Marty Lyons Foundation grants wishes to children ages 3 to 17. And what really makes this foundation so special is our willingness to grant not only a first wish, but also consider a second wish to a child who continues to battle a life-threatening illness. We stand by these children, offering them hope and strength through the power of dreams, giving our children the courage to wish for more.
What's your purpose in life? Is your purpose in life to live in the big house and drive the nice car? No. Your purpose in this life is to make it a little bit better for those that follow and realize that we live for today to see a better tomorrow.
Visit MartyLyonsFoundation.org to learn more and get involved.
Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by Ticketbash.com. This segment of Sports Bash is presented by the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund, a group of like-minded individuals trying to raise awareness to our future generations of all possibilities of success other than just college. For more information, visit www.lookwhomadeit.org. We are awaiting the owner and the founder of the Entertainment Football Association, Doug Freeman, who we understand is in transit to Long Island for the general manager's meeting. So we'll talk to Doug as soon as he is able to call in. But before the break, we gave Wiz a homework assignment because, of course, tonight is the championship game between the United States and Canada in the Four Nations face-off. And as soon as we knew it was United States and Canada, the ticket prices soared through the roof at TD Garden tonight in Boston. Wiz, you have dialed up ticketbash.com, and our good friend Vinny Tickets is the proprietor of that great establishment where people can get tickets to anything they really want to go to. What is the get-in-the-door price tonight for United States and Canada?
$1,200.
$1,200, and I imagine that's up in the boondocks.
Yes.
What did you see what they were going up until?
Up until like $3,000.
$3,000. So if you had $1,500 or $1,200 in your hand, and you had a choice to pay your bills for the month or go to see this hockey game tonight, what would you do?
Well, the former, because that's over. It's over in Boston, and I have to drive all the way over there.
Well, let's say we got you to Boston. Right? You still have that $1,200, and that $1,200 has to go for your bills for the month. And we got you to Boston. Would you buy the ticket, or would you stay at home, watch it on TV, and pay your bills?
Just watch it on TV.
There you go.
Simply because
it's actually a very intelligent thing to say, because a lot of people would do the opposite. A lot of people would do the opposite. They would just take that money. Like, I got to go see that game. I'll worry about the bills the month after.
I can't wait for that. I mean, the bills. I mean, I can't have that stuff collect. And yeah, even though I would love to see the game in person, at the same time, I know that my picture, because it would be very, very up. I wouldn't get a clear grip. I mean, I would hear it, but I wouldn't be able to truly see the action as much.
There you go. That's going to be a great game tonight that I cannot wait to go to see. But other business to take care of here on the program. Of course, we've talked about it for weeks. The brand new Long Island Arena football team that begins play in June in the Entertainment Football Association. I am very proud and very happy to be the general manager of that team. And my guest on the show is, I guess he's my boss. I mean, there's no getting around that. He without question, he's my boss. He gave the go-ahead. For some reason, the league decided to name me the general manager of the Long Island team, and we're going to find out why. And we're going to welcome to the program the founder and the owner of the Entertainment Football Association. He is Doug Freeman. Doug, it's Peter. How are you?
Peter, how are you? And happy Thursday, my friend.
Yes, same to you. I guess here I have to start with this. Well, first of all, let me start with this thing. I just want to make sure, as you know, I get off the air at 2:00. The GM meetings are at 2:00, not far from where I'm doing the show from. I just want to make sure this is going to be an excuse lateness.
Peter, I'm even giving myself an excuse. I'm giving the excuse of Long Island traffic. So you know what? You might beat me there, even though I should be there first.
Yes, well, you come to all of our home games, and you will get to know what the traffic is like in and around the Nassau Coliseum and Nassau County. Yeah. That's a story, Doug, for another day. Here's the question, and I have to be self-serving on this, just because that's what I do. It's my show. Absolutely. Ever since we announced that I was going to be the general manager of the Long Island team, here's the question that I get from everybody, whether it's the media, and you watched the show that morning, Boomer and Gio on WFAN when they had me on, and they were wondering how this happened. I went to the Islanders game that night, and I had people come up to me at the Islanders game saying, how the you-know-what did you get a job as the general manager of the Long Island Arena football team? So I will give you the floor here and let everybody know why you hired a radio guy, a sports journalist for 35 years. Why was I a good candidate to be the general manager of this soon-to-be-named team?
Well, Peter, just like football, it's all about scouting.
Yeah.
And what do we look for when we look for scouting? Jewels in the rough.
Aha.
We look for somebody that maybe is a little different, not the usual suspect. Maybe somebody that people think should be a wide receiver, but maybe is a tight end.
Yeah, I'm definitely not either one of those.
You're not. You may have tried once or twice, but, and one of the things we love, Peter, is we had an opportunity, as many people know, it's almost like a tryout. Mm-hmm. And people may not know this, but Peter was highly recommended to us when we put together our press conference, and we brought Peter on board as a consultant. And what did Peter do? Knock the press conference out the park to go to a different metaphor on the baseball side. We had well over 100 people, from politicians to media to, and of course, Peter, we're going to just say you get all the credit. I know there are a lot of people that helped you.
Yeah, I don't want all the credit. You know what, Doug? I'm just the type of guy that, a pat on the back once in a while will be just fine.
Pat on the back is always good. But you really shine, Peter, and, that's sort of what great sports moments are about who's going to shine, who's going to step up. That was your opportunity. You didn't know what was going to happen. Actually, we didn't know. We were going to go through a standard process. But some of us huddled and we said, wait a minute. Are we looking at the GM? This guy is crushing it. And then we said, well, maybe we want to ask him if he'd even consider. So, folks, this is an actual real-time story. At the conclusion of the press conference, a couple of us, hey, Peter, just come over side. I'm sure, Peter, you were thinking, well, they want to say I did a good job.
Yeah.
We said, actually, we want to know if you'd consider being our GM. And I think he went, what?
It kind of came out of left field, Doug, because as you recall,
Yes.
I needed to get out of there pretty fast because my younger son,
Right.
Jared, that day was elevated to the starting lineup of the bowling team in high school, and I knew I was going to miss the first of the 3 games, but I wanted to get there for the
Yes.
second, and I kept telling Tommy Benizio, who's our league advisor, I said, I
Yes.
really got to go. Can we talk? No, I got to. Me and Doug want to take you outside and want to talk to you about something,
Yes.
and that's when you told me about it.
Yes. We messed up probably game 3, my friend. I don't even know if you made it. Did you make
No,
it
I
to
got
game 3?
there early in game 2. I saw him
he
throw a
didn't
whole
get by
bunch.
game 2.
I saw him throw a whole bunch of strikes, and for
Good.
me and my family, it was just a wonderful day. And this whole experience and this whole opportunity means the world to me and to my whole family. And as you know, I worked for the New York Dragons in 2001
Yes.
and 2008 as a radio person. So for arena football to come back, and we'll find out tomorrow what the name of the team is. For
Yes.
arena football to come back to the Coliseum means a lot, not just to me, but to a lot of people. When you were putting this league together and you put teams in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, you went to Danbury, Connecticut, and Morristown, New Jersey, why was Long Island important to you to have a team here?
Long Island was just a little bit different, just like the other places. Fitchburg is amazing, but it's an hour west of Boston. Danbury is a great area. The closest maybe team was Bridgeport, but that's a women's hockey team. And so these locations are really magical to the extent that great communities, great people, lots of excitement, but maybe not sports. You have to drive a bit to get to the major metropolises to get to sports. And interestingly enough, even when you look at Long Island, I've been out to Islanders games and concerts where there aren't a ton of things. There's 3 million people. And so what can we do for a community to bring them joy, to bring them happiness, to bring them excitement? And then we saw the Nassau Coliseum. And we were just fortunate, and I'm going to call out our great friend, Frank Camerano, from the Nassau Chambers of Commerce, who was just magical and connected us to the right people at the Nassau Coliseum. And our good friend Joe Zeno, who runs it, was just also an amazing partner through the process and made things happen with William, Lisa, Tommy, and me. And the next thing you know we're getting a Peter to help us do a press conference at Nassau Coliseum, our new home.
You know how much that building means to me, and going there from the time that I was 10 years old, and having a chance now to it's funny. I say this to a lot of people, Doug, and I'm sure you've heard this from other people as well. When you're a fan and you're sitting there, and you and I are both Jet fans, so like we would be sitting at a Jet game. And we say, wow, if I ran that team or I owned that team, like I would do things so differently. And that's why I think this opportunity for me is so cool, is that I know it's cool for you as an owner that you get to do things the way you want to do it, and me to a certain extent running this New York team the way I want to do it. I think that's a real cool thing.
It's, it's fresh eyes, Peter. We have fresh eyes. But you know what? You mentioned it. We have the eyes of the fan. Why? Because we're fans. Everybody who's a part of the league is a fan of some sort, whether you're William's a great Steelers fan, for example. We won't hold it against him.
Oh, we will, that's right. Everybody's got a fault, Doug.
Everybody, Lisa, of course, is an Eagles fan. And
she's been happy this week.
She's an Eagles fan. She's a very happy person, and we're happy for her. I mean, it's hard for us. But anyway, we won't go down that track.
Yeah.
And, we're all fans. And so I think fans will appreciate that real fans who've been football fans we came out of literally our parents being football fans of some sort.
Yep.
Right? I was born in Dallas, Texas. I have to admit there were cowboy memorabilia pieces from ages 1 to 7, and that stopped. And I switched over to the Lions, thank goodness, even though they weren't that good, but they were salt of the earth. And then the Seahawks, where we moved in the Pacific Northwest. But I've had fandom tattooed in me forever, and so has everyone. So I think the fans will appreciate a group of folks who love the sport, who have their best interest in mind. We're going to do everything possible to make the game more exciting than even it's been before. Different rules, different pieces that will make our game special.
No question about it. We're talking to Doug Freeman. He is the founder and the owner of the brand new Entertainment Football Association, the newest team to be unveiled tomorrow. The Long Island franchise will get a name and a logo and the final piece of that puzzle before we can get on to other business with that team. Tell me about your vision in creating this league. Obviously, there's been other indoor football leagues. I worked for the Dragons back in the day in the Arena Football League, and there's other machinations of this sport in the Indoor Football League. AF1 starts this year, which is really just kind of a remodeling of the Arena Football League. There's a bunch of other. What was your vision for the Entertainment Football Association, and what do you hope to bring to the table with it?
Well, as passionate sports fans, we're fortunate to come from a variety of backgrounds. Most of us have worked in business and worked for either major corporations or large consulting firms or Wall Street. And what we kind of wanted to do, Peter, is put some of that knowledge to work. And the reason we thought that could be helpful is that we looked around and we looked at all sorts of sports, whether it's rugby or cricket, and cricket's doing great. Congratulations to the folks who just had the World Cricket.
I got you. My son Bradley went to one of those games. I didn't get a chance to go, but I'm sure you saw this. They built a temporary stadium in Eisenhower Park right near the Coliseum. Really? It was magnificent. My son had a wonderful time that day. He was studying on cricket for weeks before he went to this game, and he said it was phenomenal. So you are coming to a market here on Long Island with huge sports fans. So I think this is going to be wonderful.
Huge. And so to that point, we wanted to look at a league that's modern and has all of the tenets of speed and excitement, and for our younger audiences, the look and feel almost of a video game, what we call fast format sports. Well, the sport that stuck out in America is arena and indoor football. It's a beautiful sport, high scoring, wonderful athletes, and a history of excitement. That's one side of the sport. Unfortunately, like many things in life, there are two sides of the coin. The other side of the coin is over the last 30, 40 years, for a variety of reasons, and look, competition is one of them. It's been very difficult for leagues to stick around. I think we've just seen with the AFL 1.0, 2.0, and just last year, 16 teams evaporated into zero in AFL 3.0. And it's not because the players weren't good or the coaches. It's because for whatever reason, and there's a good one, it's been very hard to make a business out of it. And a business, as we all know, is a little bit of profit. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to be greedy. But if you make an extra $1 or $2 every year, the team can stick around. Now, what makes it difficult, and many of us are aware of this, media rights are really held by 5 major leagues and plus NASCAR. So, and it's wonderful, and the NFL and MLS have done a great job, and it really keeps those leagues beautiful and strong and vibrant. Unfortunately, Indoor and Arena Football League does not have that track record, and there's not much in the future that indicates that it will. So what do you have to do? you have to think a little differently. What are the different ways that you can generate revenues so that our fans know that not this year, but 25 years from now, their Long Island team and the other teams will not just be around, but will be thriving. So that's kind of something we have. We're kind of old heads. We sound young, but almost a couple hundred years of business experience. And we've worked for companies that are very well known, some of the top brands on the planet. And now we're applying some of that knowledge to this beautiful, beautiful sport. We want to help the sport grow and thrive. Almost like it's almost been like a child who hasn't been helped, maybe has had to go it alone. What if we built a village of support, of good people, of friends and family that could help this child grow? And so we think we've got this wonderful group, including people like yourself, who can help the sport grow and thrive and be successful. That's part one. And part two is, once we get this great cluster, the founding cluster, right? We want to build all over America. You want to be national. You want to have 30 teams.
Right.
And so the real vision is,
I've had people in other markets say, how do we get a team? Like they saw that I'm involved with this Long Island team. A former Dragons player, Matthew Steeple, I know he reached out to you about putting a team in Baltimore.
Yes. We want to have teams all over the country in similar smart clusters, and we want to have 30 or more teams by 2030, which is very quick.
Yep.
But, the world is fast.
Yes.
Things change fast. When the NFL was around, it took 73 years to get to 30 teams. We're looking to do it in 5 or 6 because, look, our times are faster.
Yes.
People expect more. So we have to keep up with our fans and the expectation of time.
We have a couple minutes left with Douglas Freeman, the owner and founder of the Entertainment Football Association, because I don't want to get to the GM meetings much later than I'm already going to get to them, and I know Doug wants to get to them fast. But let's talk about this big shindig we're throwing tomorrow in Hicksville. We're gonna announce the name of the team. We're gonna introduce the logo. We've got some surprises along the way. How excited are you for this this big event that we're going to have tomorrow?
This is going to be a great event. It's going to rock Long Island.
Yes.
It's going to rock New York. It's going to rock New York State. It's going to rock the Northeast. It's going to rock America. It's going to change the world because New York and Long Island is different. The whole world looks at us, right?
Yep.
And bringing any kind of just like cricket, you bring something to the New York area and the whole world is watching. I literally got an email from overseas just a few minutes ago saying that somebody posted there's a new football team. Wrote back, said, yes, there is. Tell your friends about it.
Well, if you expand this league overseas, you have to give me a little bit of notice because I have to renew my passport.
You got to get that passport.
Well,
get ready, people.
We are going to have so much fun tomorrow. I know there's some surprises that you know about, and there are some surprises that you don't know about yet.
So, wow, I love it.
Yes, so a lot of things are going on tomorrow, and again, and we'll talk about this again at the press conference tomorrow. But just again, for myself as someone who has constantly called working for the Dragons from 2001 to 2008 is the best job he's ever had. Thank you very much for bringing this back, and thank you for this opportunity that you've afforded me and my family.
Well, thank you, Peter, for joining the team. We are so fortunate to have you on board. This is a team, and I think as many others do, we have a great set of teammates. People are so talented, so fired up, passionate, and they're good people. And at the end of the day, we love football.
We do. And by the way, I would be remiss before I let you go. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the two people that have joined me in the New York, New York front office. Director of Operations Sean Wachter, and also just hired this week. She'll be at the press conference tomorrow. She's starting Monday. Director of Business Development, Marilyn Rich, who I'm sure you know has a wealth of sports management an advertising experience in the New York area. So we are so glad. You saw that picture we posted on social yesterday of the three of us having breakfast and meeting about the future of this team. So I, on behalf of all of us, thank you for this. And I can't wait for us to share the news with the world tomorrow what the name of our team is.
Well, this time, pretty well tomorrow, we're almost at the point of the countdown.
We'll be having lunch. We'll be having lunch at this point tomorrow. Lunch will be served in the main dining room.
Yes, and we'll be close to changing the world.
Yes.
The whole New York sports team. And we will say this loud, with loudness and clarity. We will be the only pro football team with an NYC area code. My friend, drop that mic. We are what? The Entertainment Football Associate. ENTFLA. Thank you so much, Peter.
Don't leak that name before 2:30 tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks, Doug. I'll see you in a little bit.
I look forward to it. What a great show.
Thank you. Doug Freeman, owner and founder of the Entertainment Football Association. We thank him for his time. I, quite frankly, thank him for the paycheck also. And the opportunity to think about it again. Like I brought this up, and I've talked about this on the show. You're a fan of a team, and you always felt like, I could do things like the way I want to do it. And to have the chance to build this organization and this team from the ground up is pretty amazing. And I literally have one football decision to make, and that's hiring the coach, because the coach is going to pick all the players. But between myself and Sean and Marilyn, we've got a social media team and a team full of interns that have been lined up to be able to get out in the community and get this team off the ground is just phenomenal. And I can't wait. I've had people like, come on, just tell me what the name of the team is. I'm like, I can't tell you. I have to kill you if I tell you. Now, certain people know because they have to. Like we made T-shirts for tomorrow that we're giving out to everybody. So obviously the people who made the T-shirts, they know. We have some video presentations tomorrow. So those people had to know. The PAL people, unfortunately, I know you don't like Rich Lopos, the head of the Nassau County PAL, he had to know. So there's certain people who knew, but if you're on a need-to-know basis before 2:30 tomorrow. So if you needed to know, you know. If you didn't need to know, just have 24 hours and 45 minutes more of patience, and we'll be able to bring that to you tomorrow. We're going to skip the second commercial break, just because I feel like it. Because I'm the general manager, so I can do what I want to do, right? So let's play Stump the Wiz. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to give you one last crack. If you've thought about it, I'm not telling you what it is. Do you think you know what the name of the team is?
Let's say Dragons.
What do you think that? Well, you know, I can't ask you the question because he had to help me with something, so he knows. So you'd be a bad person to ask. Okay, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's time to play Stump the Wiz. DM your best sports trivia question to Sports Bash Media social media channels. If we pick your question and you stump the Wiz, you win a prize. And on that subject of the Arena football team, today's prize, 2 tickets to see our ENTFLA Long Island home opener June 14th. I don't know why I wrote that at Citi Field here. It must have been the last question was about Mets tickets, but that is at Nassau Coliseum, not Citi Field. Citi Field on my mind. Today's contestant is Michael Landenberg from Sayville. And remember I told you at the top of the show, Wiz, and also Tony, that this question was relative to my wife's favorite baseball player ever. So here's the question.
Okay.
And Tony, you could play. Well, you saw you had the script.
I honestly did. I honestly didn't look.
You didn't look.
No, I didn't look because when I heard you say about her favorite baseball player, which I already knew was Gary Carter. Now I love Gary Carter. I've met him 4 times.
Yes.
So I purposely didn't look so I could play along.
Okay, here we go. So on December 10th, 1984, one of the biggest trades, biggest acquisitions. It was. Keith Hernandez was the franchise-changing move to the 86 Mets because he was the first guy that they acquired. But then they acquire on December 10th, 1984, Gary Carter from the Montreal Expos. A big, massive trade, and he was a big piece of the puzzle for the success the Mets had in 85 and 86 and on in the 86 World Series. So here's my question to you. Name all 4 players that the Mets sent to Montreal for Gary Carter? Oh, Tony, the steam is coming out of Tony's head.
I have 3.
You have 3 of them.
I have 3.
I'll be nice if you can get 3 out of the 4. I'm in such a good mood right now. Like earlier in the day, I was running around like a chicken without a head, going from meeting to meeting and doing drop-offs and stuff like that. I'm going to be nice today, okay? Because I once in a while I am nice, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if you name 3 out of the 4, I'll be okay. 3 out of the 4 players the Mets sent to Montreal for Gary Carter. We have 2 minutes on the clock, courtesy of Tony Walker, and away we go.
Staub was gone from there at that point, but he's noticeably known as the Will Grande Grunge because he was an original Expo. But
Why are you speaking so monotone like that?
I'm trying to think.
Are we having like a very secret conversation?
No, I'm just
here?
trying to think myself.
I've never heard you speak that way into a microphone before. It's very, very interesting. Almost seductive.
Staub was already on the Mets. In fact, 85 was his last year.
Yeah, I said I didn't think it was him for that.
We are down to 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Jeez. I don't know. I'm trying to really think of it. Probably not really an Expo that I would really know off the top of my head.
One you probably would. There's one that became a star with the Expos.
Oh, I'm assuming it was like Tim Raines.
That would be incorrect. He was never a New York Met. He was a New York Yankee. He's got a World Series.
No, I mean
with
like
the
saying
Yankees.
if he was with if he was with someone's farm team potentially. No. But I don't think that was the case. I think they were all with the majors.
1 minute to go. Boy, we have. I have never seen Wiz this frazzled by a question. He's a Mets fan.
I thought for sure there was one.
I thought he'd get one of these at least.
Yeah. I mean,
this guy was a prominent Mets player, and there were a lot of Met fans that were upset that they traded him. I
knew there was someone that was upset. Right? They were upset with one of them.
And to give you a hint, he came back.
He did come back.
He did come back. That star player. A few years later, we're down to 25 seconds.
Oh boy.
What do we got?
25 seconds.
25 seconds. This is not looking good. It's looking like Michael Landenberg will be greeted by me, the general manager, at the doors of the Nassau Coliseum on June 14th. From Sayville. What do we got?
10
seconds to go. Are you throwing your hands up? Have you given up? Because usually in these multiple part questions, you get at least 1 or 2.
We're done.
I'm stumped. I'm stumped.
Tony, do you want to answer on behalf of Wiz?
The big star that we're talking about. Well, he was big in New York. He was.
Yeah, he was a good player.
Yeah, he was good, solid. Hubie Brooks.
That's one.
Oh, Brooks. That's one.
Too bad you got it now. There you go.
Well, there's a lot of star players that the Mets have had.
Catcher Mike Fitzgerald.
That's correct.
I had a feeling it was a catcher. Just the name escaped me.
The outfielder who we thought was going to be a star, it turned out to be nothing. Herm Winningham.
Herm Winningham, top prospect. That's 3.
And that's the only 3 I have.
The other one was a pitcher, Floyd Yeomans.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay.
Okay, I would not get that one.
But that's a good question. Now, as a young Met fan, that's a good question for you to know.
Yep.
Yeah, that is true.
Because someday you could tell your kids
I knew
was traded for those 4
I knew they had an outfielder and they had a catcher. I knew that, but I wasn't sure about the star because that could be a lot of guys.
Well, congratulations to Michael Landenberg from Sayville. You stumped the Wiz, and you get 2 tickets to see the Entertainment Football Association Long Island franchise home opener June 14th at Nassau Coliseum. I've got 6 minutes to finish the show, so we're going to throw it back over to Wiz for This Week in Sports History.
Well, in This Week in 2005, Gary Bettman, everyone's favorite commissioner in hockey.
Yeah.
I'm joking, of course. Well, it was one
I've spoken to him a few times. He's a very kind gentleman. Spoken to him.
That's good. Don't say that.
I'd love to get him on Sports Bash.
Sure. Yeah, of course. Also,
we'll effort that.
Well, he announced the cancellation of the 2004-2005 NHL season, which, of course, everyone who knows it knows that's the only time that a professional league had its season not even start completely canceled because of a labor dispute. And the lockout was really contentious. It lasted for like 10. Absolutely, no. The Outdoor Life Network, which then became Versus, then NBCSN. Got the rights in America for it, and it led to the league revenue going from 67% to 54%. Mm-hmm. They finally put in a cap, and everyone's favorite introduction, the shootout was added, which
see, I understand why Gary put that in and why they adopted the shootout, because remember back the Mighty Ducks movie came out and it was a big part. And this has got to be the way that it worked for a while. We got to get rid of the shootout to end regular season games. I just as soon end this game in a tie.
I don't think people. I don't think people like ties. That's the thing.
No, well, some of the best. Bless you, Tony.
Thank you.
That's okay. Some of the best games I ever went to growing up as a kid were tie games. I went with my dad to an Islanders Winnipeg Jets game years ago, the original Winnipeg Jets. It was Brian Trottier scored like a couple of minutes into the game, and they waved it off. So that was it. And then the only goal that counted the whole night, we came into the 0-0 tie, but it was up and down, good action. The guy won the car in between periods in Squirrow, where he shot the puck from center ice into that little tiny hole on the board between the pipes. I was also at an Islanders-Rangers 0-0 tie in the 90s. That was an up and down, back and forth, great game. So, you know what? There's ties in soccer. It's okay. There can be ties in hockey.
There's some in football. They're rare. Though I'm just saying that for my personal generation, we are not ones that like ties. We're very black and white with stuff with that.
You like to wear a tie?
I meant in terms of a result.
Well, I like. I don't mind. I have a nice collection of ties. Well, I'm going to wear a doozy tomorrow, I think.
Well,
or tie dye.
I'm not really much of a tie-dye guy.
Yeah, but like
Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead, not my cup of tea.
Yeah, when it comes to the wearing, but in terms of the results, people just want to see a win and loss. I mean, because there's the expression that when there's a tie, there's no winners, only losers.
A tie is like kissing your sister. Did you ever hear that one before? You never heard that phrase? You're looking at me like I have 5 heads again.
I never knew that it related to an incest question.
No, what's that? Had nothing to do. Oh my God, Wiz!
I mean, that's what?
Why did you have to take a simple comment and take it into the gutter? Tony's going to have a heart attack over here. Tony, you okay?
I'm good. That was great.
You're not going to hear that stuff on Knock 'em Dead Comedy show. Or Hershey and the Kings, whatever.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wiz growing up right before our very eyes. Come on, you need a hug?
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is
you're flustered.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tony's face is beat red.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, yeah, I've just never been a huge fan.
Tony, put yourself on camera. Let everybody see how red your face is. Can you do that?
I don't have a camera.
Okay, well, whatever. All right, enough about that.
Okay, forget what I just said.
Let's get to the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. It's presented by Living Legends Memorabilia. We post a new question every Tuesday and Thursday on the Sports Bash Media X/Twitter page. Today's question: do you want to see the automated ball strike system in Major League Baseball? Now, they're going to test this out in spring training. Listen, nobody's perfect when it comes to officiating. Every sport now has some sort of instant replay. So here's the question again. Do you want to see the ABS system in Major League Baseball? They've tried it out in the minor leagues. The Long Island Ducks, I was at the first game they ever used it in that league. So 3 answers to the question, 3 choices. Yes, no, or only if the manager can challenge. So I'm going with only with challenges. I don't think you should have the robotic umpire make every single ball strike call. I think that should be reserved, just like an instant replay if a ball is fair or foul, if a guy is out or safe, or in football, if a guy is inbounds or out of bounds. If it's a critical moment of the game and you're up at bat and you get called strike 3 and you don't like the call, you could be able to challenge it. So I don't want to see it throughout the game. I'd like to see it in doses.
I'm in favor of it all carte blanche.
Of course you are, because you're in favor of that I word that you used before.
No, no, it's for a very different reason.
No, I'm just kidding.
I want it because this day and age, people vilify umpires and officials to the point where they're not even considered human in the eyes of many people.
Yeah.
I think if you were to put this, it would put way less of the burden on them. They'd be considered way less of an enemy. And I think for their own health, it's the best thing for it. Now, granted, do I think they should be getting removed completely? No. But at the same time, I do think we should have more of that automated systems. That way there's less immense eyeballs, I mean, being an umpire is not an easy job.
No, it's not.
I feel like having this be there would make that, at least in theory, it should be easier for them.
Tony, what do you think? You're a longtime baseball fan. Do you want to see the completely, or just want to see the manager or a player be able to ask for a review?
As much as I agree with Wiz about the umps getting vilified, I hate all this. I wish they'd get rid of all of it. I miss the human element.
The human element,
Yep.
yeah. I don't mind it in certain circumstances. Again, I would not want the robotic umpire making the calls on every single pitch. I mean, if it comes down to a critical play, just like, again, is it a goal or is it not a goal?
Right.
Is it inbounds or out of bounds? If you got bases loaded, 2 out, bottom of the ninth, Aaron Judge is up, and one of those umpires calls those stupid high strikes on him because he's 6'7", then you can go back to the videotape and take a look at it. But that's how I feel about the situation. Okay, coming up on Tuesday, we're going to talk.
Item of the week.
Oh, I forgot. Thank you, Tony. I'm all caught up in everything that's gone on. Item of the week from Living Legends. Thank you, Tony. We showed this the other day. Again, this beautiful Pelé autographed framed photo from Living Legends. Give Warren a call, 516-826-4000.
Nice.
You know why I'm doing that slowly, right? Yes, because a few weeks ago I gave my home phone number out instead,
Right.
which was not good.
No.
Not that anybody called. It was just I was very uncomfortable with that.
I would be too.
Yes. So if you're interested in that beautiful piece from Pelé, 516-826-4000. Living Legends, Warren Heller. Give him a call. Coming up on Tuesday, lots of hockey on the show. Monday night, I'm going to be going to a special event in New York City to celebrate the launch of Ken Morrow's new book, former Islander great, who is most well known for winning, being part of the Miracle on Ice USA team in 1980 that stunned the Soviets, won the gold medal, and then he went on to win 4 straight Stanley Cups with the Islanders. He's got a brand new book out. We had Alan Krita, the co-author, with him on the show a while ago. And I'm very, very lucky and fortunate that I got invited to this wonderful event in Manhattan on Monday night, so I'm looking forward to that. And then also on Tuesday, that night, the Islanders play the Rangers at UBS Arena. I'll be going to that game, so we'll preview the latest round of the Battle of New York on Tuesday, plus we'll recap everything that went on over the weekend. We'll talk about tomorrow's big event with the football team. All that and more coming up on Tuesday's show. That'll do it for this edition of Sports Bash. Thanks to Doug Freeman, the founder and owner of the Entertainment Football Association. Thanks to Wiz for another great edition of Stump the Wiz and This Week in Sports History. Thanks to Tony Walker, who is still recovering from Wiz's little moment there a few minutes ago. So thanks to everybody who was a part of the show today. Sports Bash presented by Ticketbash.com and the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund. Sports Bash is sponsored by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, by Living Legends Memorabilia in Rockville Center, and by the Marty Lyons Foundation. For our entire crew, today consisting of 3, I'm Peter Schwartz saying thank you for watching. Sports Bash is back on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Have a great weekend, everybody.